Good afternoon, Evan. How are you today, kid?
Happy President's Day.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
How do you forget? That's not the first thing you think about when you wake up.
Totally forgot. Today is President's Day.
We went around the room in our house, and everybody said who their favorite president was. It was
Is
a
that
great
right?
moment. Yeah.
Was that the Roberts breakfast? Okay.
Yep.
Well, who's your favorite president? And what did Jet say?
Jet said George Washington.
All right, good for him.
The other one he likes is William Henry Harrison.
No. Now, again, I know that Uncle Craig and Jet have a special relationship on the radio, but I believe the topic was, who is your favorite? Unlike his father, it'd be nice if he could just give an answer
He gave an
and
answer.
not have to couch it.
He gave an answer and then followed up with, I also really like William Henry Harrison. So I'm just giving you the full information.
So how could a 4-year-old possibly really like Henry Harrison?
Well, he feels bad because, remember, he got sick. He's now in heaven and only lasted 30 days in office because he wasn't wearing his overcoat during the inaugural address.
Is that really what it was?
Well, it's kind of a simplified story. Look, he wasn't wearing his overcoat. It was cold. He did make a very long speech, but scientists have gone back, Craig, and they don't think he necessarily died because of that.
Scientists have also gone back, and they don't think that Kevin Durant hurt his hamstring because of his play, don't play. Play, don't play.
He did.
Play, don't play.
He did.
Well, the scientists have reviewed it.
Craig, it is obvious that
Why
when the
is that so
NBA
obvious?
says you can play, oh, wait, you can't play. Now
Yeah.
you got to isolate for 5 days, then get on a plane and go out west and then play 33 minutes?
Yes.
That there's a good chance you're going to injure yourself.
Why?
I put the hamstring issue and injury on the NBA.
I don't at all. Because just because he can't play doesn't mean he's not working out, staying in shape, shooting the rock.
He's got to isolate.
No, but you can isolate and do all those things.
It's not
Do you
NBA
think-
game action.
I agree with you on that. But I was paying attention to your little bitching and moaning over the weekend after a great win against a very good team playing very well at least lately.
Yeah.
Steph Curry and the gang. And I when I saw the news on Durant, I was like, tick tock. I didn't get to the next tick before Evan had something to say anti-NBA about
But
it.
you know I'm right.
I
that
don't know why he hurt his hammy.
The start and stop nature contributed to him injuring his hamstring.
Wait, start and stop is not like the Daytona 500. Start and stop, start and stop. It's not like a pitcher, start, here comes the rain, and stop. It's a totally different thing.
Dude, last week.
And he hurt his hammy a week later.
No, last week when he was playing the Raptors, he's in an isolation room.
Yeah.
Then he's allowed to run on the court and play basketball, and the brilliant head coach plays him for every single minute. Then he's got to go back in another isolation room, and then he's got to isolate for 6 days.
Well, I will tell you
this.
this.
He plays again, and he injures his hamstring.
It does appear that we're never going to see the three of them together for, back-to-back games, 3 games in a row.
Amazing.
Until some maybe even come playoff time. But I tell you what, there's a lot to do out there baseball-wise, because, 2 days away, right, pitchers and catchers, 3 days away for the Yanks, pitchers and catchers, and maybe the Mets and Yankees are both going after Justin Wilson, blah, 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 blah. You're close. Baseball is close, and that there's some level of disappointment among a fan base when you're putting as much energy as we have heard and seen now put into, are the Yankees going to get him? Are the Mets going to get him? Who wants him? And we're going after a guy that in reality is not an afterthought, but not a guy that's going to be, for right now, a significant role in winning a World Series or your attempt to. And that tells me, and I thought about it, Evan, long and hard, like the wood that I chopped this weekend. So go F yourselves, you anti-woodsmen out there. There were no bugs in it eating the wood away. The wood was there. The wood got chopped. End of wood.
By the way, speaking of your wood chopping, I
Yeah.
was inspired after I saw the video to go outside and chop wood myself.
There you go.
But that would also involve digging it out of the snow. So I'm going to wait a couple of days, couple of weeks until the snow starts to melt.
You have an axe?
And then I will axe up some wood and show you how I do it.
Do you need an axe? Because I have an extra axe and sledgehammer if you need one.
I have an axe at home.
You do?
I do.
And a sledgie or no?
I'm not sure. I have to check. I have to ask my father-in-law.
Just please be careful out there.
Of course.
It's not for everyone. Just
Why do you
please.
say that in a tone like it's not for me?
Because my gut is that maybe when you bought the house, there was an axe in the garage and you just acquired it.
You don't think I could pick up an axe with my two beautiful hands and slam it down on a piece of wood?
No, I think you could.
Okay, so then what's the issue?
I just want you to be careful.
I'm going to be careful.
That's all. Like, keep your feet out of the way.
Of course.
That's all. Make sure the axe is properly connected to the whatever it's on.
Yes.
All right. Listen, I trust your father-in-law. I don't trust you. Here's my point.
What's your point?
And I think it's completely unfounded, especially if you're a New York Met fan, all right? And I say that because the New York Mets had a great offseason. Now, if you're a Yankee fan and you want to argue that the Yankees did not have a great offseason, well, I guess I would wonder, what did you want them to do that they didn't do? Okay? And I'm not saying theirs was great. They got LeMahieu back. That was the prime focus of the offseason. But what didn't they do that you wanted them to do?
Well, they lost 24 starts from Tanaka, Paxton, Happ, and replaced it with two guys who've barely started the last 2 years.
So, but are you pissed about that as a Yankee fan? Because here's the dealio.
Mm-hmm.
If we're arguing over Justin Wilson, if that's a legitimate argument, because I find it comical. I can't argue about Justin Wilson right now and how important the acquisition of Justin Wilson is for either one of these teams. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I can't sit here and have that conversation. Well, but what it tells me is that neither franchise's fan base is currently happy.
Okay. Forget Justin Wilson for a second. He's just the name being talked about, right?
Yeah.
So put him to the side. The New York Yankees bullpen is essentially the same as it was last year, except they replaced Adam Ottavino with Darren O'Day, right? Chapman's back. Britton's back. Chad Green should be good. I happen to like Jonathan Loaizaga. So the Yankee bullpen is essentially the same. And that's okay, because the Yankees have had a really good bullpen the last few years. Here's where the Wilson discussion is occurring. Everything changed on Saturday. The news about Seth Lugo changed a lot of views, including my own, about the New York Met bullpen. The New York Mets did not do much to improve their bullpen this offseason outside of signing Trevor May. They didn't do much. But the thought was Seth Lugo is coming back to the bullpen. And Lugo's been a very good reliever the last few years. So based on acquiring Carlos Carrasco and Syndergaard coming back and Peterson being in the rotation, Lugo's going to be in the bullpen. With Lugo likely out to begin this season, when you look at the Met bullpen, I'm just going to call it like it is, Craig. The Met bullpen's not any good.
Okay.
That's just the reality. And if you say, well, bullpens vary year to year, I'd agree with you. Not the Met bullpen. The Mets have had a lousy bullpen for a number of years. And when you look at what's in it, Edwin Diaz, Trevor May, Jairus Familia, Dylan Betances, Miguel Castro, that doesn't make you feel good. So the Met discussion has changed because of this Lugo injury. While you look at the Met bullpen, and I'm not going to argue about the rest of the offseason. I love the Lindor trade.
Of course.
But if you look at the Met bullpen, which is stunk for a number of years, that's indisputable. It has. Is this bullpen better? And the answer is no, it's not. And that's the problem.
No, but it's why I always say the fan base is greedy and selfish, because I think the Mets have had an amazing
Forget the offseason. No, bullpen.
Okay.
Bullpen.
Their bullpen is obviously the weakness on this team when you look at it on a piece of paper.
Okay.
And then, of course, the need for a lefty in the bullpen is something that you have to at least keep an eye on.
Okay.
All right. So I get it that Justin Wilson fills both of those needs. A guy in the bullpen and a lefty. I get it.
Forget Justin Wilson. I'm not
you
worried
get what
about
I'm saying?
him.
Like,
I
hear people, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like, are we at that point? The Super Bowl was only a week ago, and we're going to spend all day upset about, and I know it's going to happen.
What?
You know what's going to happen.
What's going to happen?
The Yankees are going to get him.
They are.
Right?
Yes.
And then the conversation for the entire day on WFAN is going to be, see, when the Yankees want somebody, they get him. And once again, even under the ownership of Steve Cohen, if it comes down to Mets versus Yankees, the Yankees still win.
Okay, let's all agree on something.
And that's going to happen.
Craig, let's agree on something.
All right.
C-Mac will agree, you'll agree, I'm going to agree. Justin Wilson is blah. Right?
That's my whole point.
Okay, I'm not arguing about Justin Wilson. I'm not even, like, if the Mets signed Justin Wilson in 5 minutes, if it came out from John Heyman or Jeff Passan, really any baseball reporter outside of Andy Martino, I would not alter what?
I'm just saying.
I started now?
That was Evan. That wasn't me. That was Evan Roberts taking a shot at your best friend.
Fine. It would not change my view on the state of the Met bullpen. The state of the Met bullpen right now is not very good, and it hasn't been good for years. And so Lugo being out for what hopefully is not an extended period of time brings back those concerns. Justin Wilson, Craig, is just the name that's out there.
Yes.
That's all he is.
Because he's thought of as the best available left-handed reliever.
Well, the best available reliever, if there's a reliever available, is Josh Hader of the Brewers if they decide to trade him. I don't know if they will. I'm not sure the Mets will offer what it would take to get him. But here's the point. For the last bunch of years, one consistency around the New York Mets, Craig, has been the fact their bullpen stinks.
Okay.
And as we go into the start of the 2021 season, I look at the names, I see the names, it hasn't really changed. I like bringing in Trevor May, but you cannot confidently look at the Met bullpen and say, gee, I feel really good about that. The Yankees have two elite-level closers in their bullpen, Aroldis Chapman and Zach Britton. They are literally elite-level closers.
Right.
They're not guys you worry about year to year. You may worry about Chapman come October. That's a different discussion. But they are elite-level closers. So if the Yankees had Justin Wilson, great. They added depth. Super. The Met bullpen right now is not good.
As a diehard Met fan,
yes,
it would have to rankle you a little bit if the Yankees got a guy that for them is just another guy, but for you, with Lugo now being out, represents something more.
He's not something more. See, that's my point. If the Mets signed Justin Wilson in 5 seconds, I would not look differently at the Met bullpen. I'd have the same concerns. And I'll be honest with you, because I know the free agents that are out there. Trevor Rosenthal is another name you're going to see. Trevor Rosenthal was basically couldn't throw a strike for 4 years, and then last year in a brief season pitched really well.
Yes.
He's the best available reliever. Even if the Mets signed Trevor Rosenthal, I'd have these concerns about their pen. Their pen's got concerns. And I don't even know if there's a move outside of trading for Josh Hader that's really going to change that. That's just the reality. So when we analyze, hey, the Mets have a good offseason. Hey, are the Mets better than the Braves? Hey, the Mets going to win the NL East? As opening day approaches and spring training approaches, you start to take a closer look at what you have. And I'm telling you right now, what they have in their bullpen's not very good.
See, so this is after what was supposed to be the great offseason in recent memory for the Mets, which I think, frankly, was the best offseason in recent memory, getting rid of the Wilpons, adding Lindor and Carrasco, plus the other pieces Evans already mentioned. Here we are again, 2 days away from pitchers and catchers, and the Mets are not only unhappy, but you're about to also lose a guy to the Yankees. Sometimes, Evan, things never, the more they change, the more they stay the same.
You're saying a lot of things that have truth, but they're being twisted.
I don't believe that's the case at all.
I love the fact that Steve Cohen owns this team. I love the fact they traded for Francisco Lindor.
Big W's.
Big W's.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the James McCann signing. They still need depth in the outfield. They still need another starting pitcher, but probably more than all of that, and it opened our eyes over the weekend with Seth getting hurt, is that their bullpen is not very good. And I'll give you an equivalence with the Yankees. And I'm not saying Lugo's as accomplished as these guys, but if the news came out today that Chapman or Britton was going to miss a serious amount of time,
right,
you would view the Yankee bullpen differently.
How could you not?
Of course. So that's it. The Mets' best reliever by a lot, and don't give me Edwin Diaz, the Mets' best reliever by a lot isn't going to throw a baseball for 6 weeks. That's not good.
No. Big Mac, what do you think? Wednesday, Yanks have a press conference introducing Wilson to the New York media. Not that he needs to meet him again, but
I think they might let it linger till Thursday.
They might let it linger just to keep Met fans on the hook for a couple extra days.
Well, can I ask you this, though? When Justin Wilson was a New York Yankee like 5 years ago, did you love him? Were you like a big Justin Wilson fan back in the day?
He actually had a good year in 15.
And
then he got Chad Green and Sessa. So, you know.
Wasn't Rosenthal also a Yankee minor leaguer for a minute?
Trevor Rosenthal?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Didn't he have? I think he had a minor league contract with the Yanks as well.
Well, the thing about Rosenthal,
pretty sure he did.
Look, he's been bouncing around the last few years because he had some really good years with the St. Louis Cardinals. He was their closer. He was an elite level reliever, and then all of a sudden he just lost it and had a big time problem throwing strikes. He's been bouncing around the league with Washington and Detroit, and then last year, after 3 years of really being awful, he was really good for the Kansas City Royals and the San Diego Padres. Fine, go sign him.
Yeah, he was a minor leaguer with the Yanks in 2019.
They brought him in. What did he last, like a month? Because he never got to the majors.
He never left Scranton Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah. But that was during that period I'm talking about, Craig, where he just was bouncing around.
Yeah,
He couldn't throw strikes.
he played for Detroit, for Washington, Toledo, Scranton, Harrisburg. But he was part of the Yankee system.
Yeah, I don't even remember
make sure
that.
I had that right. Plus, this weekend brought football back. Not to the television, of course, but to Twitch. And you can lie through your teeth if you tell me you haven't seen the highlights. You may not have watched it live, but you've seen the highlights. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I kind of liked what I saw. It was fun. They make no attempt to be anything other than what they are. And it was fun. And I have to say, not only did I enjoy watching it, the last play of the game.
Oh, yeah, the tackle at the 1 yard line.
Was awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The concept of arena football, which was around for a while, and then this concept of a 50-yard field, it's kind of cool.
It's 7-on-7, 50-yard field. Each team basically has like 2 stars that they hold on to for the whole season. And then every week there's a redraft. And there's only 4 teams. And you kind of are aligned as a fan to one team. And then you get to pick the plays.
Here's my
and
one
then
issue.
they run your play.
Here's my one issue with the league. So Saturday night, I'm getting ready for the big Nets-Warriors game, all pumped up. But I got a half hour before the game starts. And I'm not watching any endless pregame shows. So it pops into my head. Let me watch this fan football league, whatever the hell they're calling it. So I go on Twitch, and I can't find it. I searched for 10 minutes to find this league because I was going to watch it live. I ended up seeing the highlights like you mentioned, but I tried to consume this, and then once the Nets game started, I was gone.
And the great quote that came from it, whether you win or whether you lose, we're going to booze.
Yes. John E. Manziel.
That's your main man, Johnny Football, right there. We got lots cooking today. Great to have you here. Obviously, we're going to keep an eye on this ice storm that's allegedly coming through. A lot of reports have it turning into rain earlier than originally thought, but we'll keep you on top of that. And then on Thursday, I think we got another half foot of snow coming.
I'm done. I'm over it. I love the winter. I love the snow. I got to tell you, I'm over it. Give me the spring, yes.
Well, you'd have to talk to I love when people complain about the snow. Like someone could do something about it.
Look, I know nobody.
Call Mother Nature up.
Well, you don't think the government controls the weather?
Have a chat with her and let her know that you, Evan Roberts, you're done.
Look, here's all I'm saying. We usually get a day or two in the middle of January and February where you go outside and you say, wow, it's 60 degrees. This is crazy.
Yeah.
We get a day like that. We have not gotten a day like that in months.
Tomorrow. 50 degrees tomorrow.
Nah, 50's not enough.
50's not
I just said 60.
Greedy, selfish.
I'm selfish for all of us.
Greedy and selfish.
All of us need that one day. 50's nice. I'm not saying it's awful.
50's fantastic.
But
It's
we
15
need
degrees out right now.
62 degrees. And we usually get it. Look at the history. Look at the numbers. Look at the data.
I'll check the data out during the break.
Check out the data, man.
We'll take all your calls as always. 877-337-6666. We got lots cooking. We will get to the football, little baseball out of the gate. And Kevin Durant, another setback for the team that's supposed to win a championship this year. Meanwhile, there is a team in town that's put together 2 fantastic wins back to back, belly to belly. I will talk about them a little bit later on today as well. So we have a lot to do. In other
You got
words.
that smile on your face.
That's right. If they would just wear the right jerseys, I'd be thrilled with my basketball team. They just, for some reason, can't wear the right effing jersey.
I know.
And it's starting really, frankly, to be a pain in my ass.
It is pretty brutal.
Because I turn on the telly, and I don't know what team I'm watching.
I know. Every week, every day.
And the Blues getting close to the Kentucky Blue. Not so happy about that
Not
either.
a coincidence.
Yeah.